I am Santos Jr., Stockton, California, here, founder of the Soldiers of Self Mastery Movement. I wanted to take a few minutes out in this video and discuss this topic about another possibility of why you might be stuck with your gambling and why it's so difficult when you try hard, you try to get away from it, and you do good for a couple days, or you might do good for a week, and then only to find yourself doing it again. And you struggle inside thinking, man, if I could just stop doing this. And you might even be playing with your own mind, asking yourself, like your own mind begins to trick you, like, do you really want to stop gambling? I don't think you really want to stop gambling. Your mind has a way of, your mind is going to protect you, right? Your mind is going to try its best to protect you from doing the right thing because it's so used to doing the wrong thing. I'm not sure how do I understand why the mind does this, because the mind always wants to look for shortcuts, is what I understand. It doesn't, and that's why it's so important for us to understand what it means to work and to discipline the mind. Now, I'm not here to really talk about the mind, even though the mind is connected to your emotions. Could it be that could it be the major reason why you haven't stopped gambling yet? Could it have been the major reason in my life when I look back now? Because I'm always talking about the mind. I'm always talking about retraining the mind, right? Self-talk, mind, mouth, power congruency. I talk about journaling. I talk about all these life hacks and all of these things that you should do to make yourself better, because they do work. They've helped me immensely. I've grown in ways I've grown in ways that amaze me, astound me, improve my life. I never thought that I would ever say that I'm not gambling ever again. I never thought that I would find myself saying that. Never thought about that, because I remember how deep I was into this thing. And of course, now, today, it's like every day that you're improving yourself, every day that you're improving your life, you're going to get better. You're going to get better and you're going to understand more. And I've said a lot of things over the years, and I'm beginning to really, really realize how important it is what I've shared. Because the reality is that your emotions may be in a gambling prison. And that's why it's so difficult for you, because it's an emotional thing. I've never really thought about this. I've said it in some of my other videos. I said that it is, your emotions, but I never really, and I promise to keep this video not that long. There might be a secondary video to this. Hopefully you on the other side can see this video and hear my heart, because when I started studying emotional intelligence, when I started studying um, tactical empathy, probably within the last couple of years, and it's taken me a while to understand these concepts, these ideas, this experience, that you are a byproduct of your emotional reservoir. And that's a very deep area. It's a very complicated area. That's the main reason I truly believe this today more than ever. The reason why you're still struggling with your gambling or your addiction or whatever it is that you got going on, is because there's an area of your emotion that's controlling that, and you can't get away from it. The only way that you will be able to get away from it is through the understanding of what's going on in your emotion. What area, whatever, is there a name to that emotion? Is there a label to that emotion? Where is that? It's tied to your thought process too. But it's not just about thinking positive anymore, even though this helps tremendously. It's really not about thinking positive. It's actually about emotional intelligence. It's about understanding who you are and why you do what you do. Would you agree that if you have a clear understanding of why you're doing what you're doing, you'll have a better understanding of why you're doing what you're doing? And what does that give you? That gives you an edge. It gives you an understanding of how you can fix, how you can repair, how you can influence, how you can motivate. It also shows you how you're being motivated or how you're being influenced. I'm not sure if you're going to get this on the other side. I'm not sure if you're going to understand that it's more of an emotional thing that's going on. And if we shift our focus off of a lot of things and just think, man, it's emotional. Okay. If it's emotional, how do I fix it? We're going to have to go into an emotional journey of emotional intelligence learning and tactical empathy. That's going to be work. That's going to take some time, some dedication, and it's going to take some good people or a good whatever it is that you use. You may need a coach. You may need a good counselor. You may need a good psychiatrist. Of course, you can be that for yourself once you learn how. But you're always going to need somebody in your life. I'm always going to need somebody to help me. Another coach, another doctor, until I begin to really master my own emotional intelligence and understand who Santos Jr. really, really is. And only then I will be able to defeat these things and understand. Life is not going to be easy. Life is very complicated. It's going to become more complicated, more sensitive with people. Hopefully this helps you on the other side understand your dilemma a little bit more. I'm not sure if you're going to take any action upon what you're hearing. I have no idea. I don't know if this makes sense to you. If it does, I'm going to ask you to leave a comment. I'm going to ask you to a thumbs up and share this video if you get an understanding of how important this subject is. And maybe in the next video we'll talk a little bit more about how we can begin to master emotional intelligence, what we can do to begin to work these areas in our lives that we better know and we better master, or else you're just going to continue being mastered by these things and not really be aware of it. Santos Jr., founder of the Soldiers of Self-Mastery movement right here in Stockton, California. Coaching is available with me. If you can relate, we can do that. And we've got a few tools. And check us out there on the live broadcast also on Sundays. Peace through strength. I'll see you at the top on my very next one.